with locals over land dispute. At least 5 people were shot dead and several others seriously injured following a dispute over the ownership of land at Angata Barikoi in Transmara South, Narok County. So yes, that's a story that continues, and more criticism about the security agencies and their handling of the Gen Z protests last year, making it to the front pages of at least of the People Daily, the Standard, and the Daily Nation as well. I want us to stay with the Daily Nation, a different story, but still touching on the youth. And the fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta, has come under a lot of criticism for a statement he made in Uganda earlier this week while addressing youth and telling them that it is their time to demand for accountability. But allies of President William Ruto have read that as a statement meant to incite Kenyan youth against the government. And I'm wondering, why are politicians from the Kenya Kwanza fold very much on edge when they talk about the youth? Bwana Lotee.
Well, thank you. Let me just add the very final to this one. I'll come for that. In June 16th, 1944, there was somebody, a young person, 14 years of age, called George Stanley in the US, who was electrocuted, accused of murder of 2 young American white girls. In 2004, an inquest came back to try to inquire whether it is true that George Stanley killed the 2 girls. And it was actually found that he was executed. If you saw that video, I need you to go and watch that video. The young man holding a Bible and praying to God as he was being executed, 14 years old. And finally, it was found that it's true, he did not murder. He was wrongfully convicted. George Stanley, 1944. This expose from the BBC, and I do not want to falsify the expose, but the fact that they are saying there was a soldier who was kneeling down and shooting, that is the soldier that killed, might, at the end of it all, put these soldiers in an environment just as this of George Stanley, where they can be accused and finally found that they were not the ones who killed. Because if you're picking one person out of many and saying this is the person who was kneeling, this is the person who was shooting, without showing the whole scenario, it could have been a person who was sitting on the light, on the left. So I will not want to say that it is good to kill. I will continue saying it's wrong, because my people from Kacheliba have been killed a lot by the military. But it is important that we do thorough investigation, not based on an expose that could have been tainted, that could have been made in a manner that wants to say it is so-and-so who killed. So I will still say, let the agencies that are required do thorough investigation so that any soldier that was found culpable should actually squarely take the responsibility, but not based on assumptions or scenarios as created by the media. Finally, I come to what you've asked, the question of Uhuru Kenyatta and why people think Uhuru Kenyatta was trying to incite the youth. Personally, I'll say the youth...
Are you saying he incited? Those are the accusations that he incited.
He incited. That is the statement that is not mine. It is the statement that is made by others. I think Uhuru had the right to say anything that he wanted. He is a former president, to ask for accountability. But I will say this to Uhuru Kenyatta. He was in this country for 10 years as the president. What accountability mechanism did he put in place? That time when he was president, there were youths who were there. And he will tell us, without blinking, that this country is being plundered, 2 billion shillings every single day, and he did nothing about it. To call for accountability when he was the lord of an unaccountability is wrong. But what he said to the youth is correct, because the youth are the future of this country. Let the youth be given the opportunity to be able to call for accountability. But he should take responsibility for the 10 years that he actually allowed 2 billion shillings per day to be lost without then telling us who was this that was able to steal this money, because that is a serious breach of accountability. As the president, he needed to have actually put people in for us to know that he is the lord of accountability. To come and talk about accountability to the youth now, when he allowed the resources of the youth to be plundered under his watch, is wrong.
Okay. Bwana Gakuya, do you understand the fear from Kenya Kwanza allied politicians? Every time the mention of youth and youth demanding for accountability, do you understand why they are so edgy?
Let us all agree that any country that's a thriving country